Today's cook is brought to you by Bub and Mother's, the gourmet Maine dry rub with a Maine attitude. Use it on anything, whether it has fur, fins, or feathers, for great taste. People love it on everything from eggs to popcorn to pulled pork, which is what we're making on the show today, and even in margaritas. Email us at bubandmothers@gmail.com and ask for our free recipes. Hey, John Furman here from Bub and Mother's, and look what we got. We have a bone-in pork shoulder that we are going to slow cook today for about 8 or 9 hours. Now, the key to any great meal is in the prep. So one of the things that we're going to be doing is, obviously we're going to rub the shoulder completely with Bub and Mother's Down East Dinner Dust. We're going to use the regular flavor. That seems to go best with pork. Now, you can use the honey and heat if you want to kick it up a bit, but we prefer this. One of the things you notice in the pork shoulder is one whole side is really heavily layered in fat. And before we rub it, one of the things that I like to do, and it's not required, it's just something that I like to do, is score the fat so that the rub can get in. Okay? This is going to render down over 8-9 hours. So, you know, it's going to give you that bark, that flavor, the moisture that you're looking for. All right? And I like to go both ways so that when we rub it up, we're going to get some rub down inside that fat for the cook. Okay? Beautiful. All right. I always like to start with the rub on the bottom first. And before I do that, put on a couple of cooking gloves, food gloves, just so that when we rub it in, we can get right on to the next part of the task. Now, these are always fun to put on. Get a box, they're not very expensive, but it's worth it if you do a lot of rubbing. Alright? And please do not be afraid to just put it all over. Okay? You want to get in there nice. And again, you know, with our rub, Bub and Mother's, we use sea salt, which not only gives it a good salt flavor, it's not too heavy with salt, but because of the way sea salt is, it kind of cuts into the meat a little bit. All right? And that will go a long way to get that flavor inside your pulled pork. Oh yeah, we definitely want to get heavy here on the top, because this is going to literally sit on the smoker for the rest of the day. Just to give you an idea, it's about 8:15 in the morning. We already got the fire going. So when that is ready, we're going to be putting this on. One of the things I like to do, once it's all rubbed up, okay, is we're going to put some saran wrap on it, plastic wrap. I can't say saran, they're not our sponsors, right? And what this does, it'll kind of let that rub work in there. So as you can see, we've got our rub all around our pork. It's rubbed in, and like I said, I'm going to seal it up with just some plastic wrap. At room temperature, you know, if you're gonna do this and then refrigerate because you want to do it tomorrow, then yeah, definitely get it in there for overnight. But on your counter at room temperature, this will start to marry up a lot faster. So when we come back, we're going to be outside starting the fire on the smoker and getting ready to start our cook, because we've got a good 8 or 9 hours ahead of us. We'll be right back. Hey, it's John Furman. We're back. I want you to take a look in here. As you see, we start every smoker off with charcoal. To the charcoal, we're going to be adding some apple wood, all right, and some hickory wood. Now we do that for a couple reasons. One is the hickory gives us that nice long steady flow, keeps the temperature regulated, and it gives us a good smoke. The apple wood is going to help sweeten things up a bit, so that when we're putting our pork in here, we're going to get that right flavor. So when we come back, we'll be bringing that pork out, putting the wood on the fire, and getting things going. See you in a minute. So as you can see, we've got a good smoke coming through. The wood has ignited from the charcoal. The biggest reason for the delay before you put the meat on is you don't want to get that charcoal taste in the meat. And I'm talking about, I don't mean the charcoal crisp, I'm talking about the actual flavor of charcoal. So we just want the meat to taste like a good pork shoulder that's been smoked very well. So we're up to temperature, we're going to put it on. Don't mean to turn my back to you, but we're going to load up. Look at that. So what we want to do when we put this on the smoker, right in the middle, but I like to put the heavier end, the meatier end, closest to the smoke. And then this is a bone-in roast pork shoulder, so we want that bone down at this end. We're going to close this thing up and promise not to look at it for at least the first 3 hours, and then we'll check in and see how it goes. The biggest thing is check your temperature, maintain it, add wood as necessary, and do it evenly. And a piece of hickory, a piece of apple, a piece of hickory, a piece of apple. That way it stays nice and balanced. You don't get one flavor over another. When we come back, we'll be taking our first look at the pork. www.bubandmothers.com. That's bubandmothers.com. Home of the best gourmet dry rub with a Maine attitude. We feel it's so good that you put Bub and Mothers on just about anything, take one bite, and you'll be speaking with a Maine accent. So get some today. Go to www.bubandmothers.com and remember our 10,000 to 1 Veterans Hiring Initiative. Alright, so here we are at the 3-hour mark, and I don't know if you can see it with the reflection there, but it's about 260 degrees in there, which, you know, we like to keep it 260, 270. We'll be adding some more wood in a second. But 3 hours in, you can start to see that bone is coming through. It's shrinking right up. The bark is already forming, and it's going to be a good cook. We can see it right now. So again, you know, you don't want to keep it open too much. I dropped it down to about 250, and that's about all that you want it to do. So we're going to add some more wood, and we got another 3-4 hours to go. Okay, here we are, end of the day. Temperature has really cooled off a lot. That's one of the nice things up here in Winter Harbor. It was in the low 80s, a little bit warm, you know, nice, and right now it's probably 72 degrees and cool. So as we do our cook, it gets more and more comfortable during the day. But let's take a look. Oh yeah. So as you can see, we've got our roast ready to go. It's got a beautiful bark on it. Nice. Very. Oh yeah. Gonna pull apart. Love it. Hey, when we come back, we'll start chopping this thing up and get ready for dinner. Okay. Here we are. Take two. Okay, here we are back in the Bub and Mother's kitchen. You know, it's interesting. People today want food fast. That's why they go to takeout restaurants and don't do much of the cooking around the house themselves. They buy prepackaged, pre-cooked meals. And yet here's something that is incredibly popular that we put on the grill earlier this morning. It's now 5:30 in the afternoon. It's just now done. So what can we do with it? Well, there's a number of ways. I don't know if you've ever seen these before. They're pretty much available any place that sells barbecue equipment. They're called bear claws for the reason that they look like bear claws, and they're basically designed to shred the meat. And I know you can't get a really good look, but look at that pork. Okay, it's got a wonderful flavored bark outside. You can see the smoke. It's shredding. All right, now you can use these, and that would make you a traditional griller. We're not in it for the competition. We're in it to eat. We're in it to flavor you here in the Bub and Mother's kitchen. So we're going to use something a little bit more common. What I will use is one of the claws to hold it tight. And we're going to try and get this stuff off the bone. I mean, if you guys could see the moisture in here. And again, what's nice, whether you rip it apart with a bear claw, chop it up with your knife, the whole idea is to get it into pieces consistent with shredding it, putting it on bread, your rolls, barbecue sauce if you like, a little coleslaw on top. And again, you can get our recipes for Bub and Mother's coleslaw just by emailing us at bubandmothers@gmail.com. We're happy to send those out. They're all free. And go. So, to be able to take something as delightful as this, man, and give it a taste at the end of the day. It is so juicy and moist. I know that's hard to see on film, but maybe, I mean, if you could just see, and that's because low and slow, the fat is actually cooking down through the meat, creating that moisture, that juice. You don't have to put anything in there. I know I'm talking with my mouth full, but I can't help it. We will be eating pulled pork for a while here in Winter Harbor, and hopefully next time we'll have some recipes. And hey, if you've got a great recipe, please send it in. Send it in with some pictures. If we like it, we'll post it up on the website. Barbecuing's about sharing. We make this to share with as many people in the neighborhood as possible. Share your recipes, share your favorite flavors. But hey, don't forget to add Bub and Mother's. We'll see you next time, and remember, Bub loves you, and keep smoking. Hey guys, take a look at www.bubandmothers.com. This is our website. You can come and visit anytime you want. Figure out the story, the legend behind us. We also list stores where Bub and Mother's is available up here in Maine for you on vacation. We've got a great recipe page with recipes and some videos on how we cook. Again, we're really proud of our ability to give back when we can. You know, our hiring veterans program, 10,000 to 1. Please take a look at that, and you know, if you can participate, we'd be absolutely ecstatic. So, what are we missing? Oh, right. The one thing you want to do when you come and visit, and that's get yourself some Maine flavor. That's right. We are a gourmet dry rub with a Maine attitude. Basically what that means, folks, is Maine people like to buy things with multiple purposes, and you can use Bub and Mother's on just about anything. So come on out to the website, www.bubandmothers.com.